Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, it's all alien. And before people start sighing, I know that 99% of all these explanations about aliens are bullshit. There's never any proof. I never believed in aliens because the explanations were so stupid. There was never proof. But I will prove to you that Alice in Wonderland and the Wizard of Oz are about aliens. But I will quickly go to a few basic things, like for example the Hasidic rabbis who control all the presidents and what kind of laws the presidents sign. And they control other politicians, and Obama, and they also control Trump now, and Putin is controlled by them. They control all the big politicians all over the world, China, Poland, Russia, everywhere. They work with the protocols of Zion, and they work with religions to control us, the Vatican, the United Nations, the World Bank, all these things. And they have a lot of people working for them, other rabbis, Zionist bankers, the Zionists in general, freemasons, the white race traitors. And these people, they do things in real life. The Zionists are movie producers, music producers. That's how they put all their stuff into the media. Because some people say like, oh, the music today, it's controlled by the Illuminati. There are all these strange things in it. They're right. But they never explain to you the big picture, that we have these Hasidic rabbis and they want to take over the world, and we have these Zionists that work for them. Then it makes a lot of more sense. That's how it all works. They control newspapers, TV stations. And we have the Freemasons, the white race traitors, and they are presidents like Bush and Clinton, for example. Or probably Washington was also already a Freemason. It's horrible. All these big politicians, charities, 99% is fake. All this money goes straight to supporting realization of the New World Order. What do you think? Police, army is partly Freemasons, so yeah, we are in a lot of trouble. Of course, we are controlled. Big things in history were set up by them. And in the Bible it says, I don't believe in religion, but in the Bible it says also logical things. By their deeds you will know them. For example, the Titanic, it sank, but then it made the fat possible. Because 3 important people who did not want the fat died on the Titanic. So this way you can find out that they were behind it. Same with 9/11. It made the extreme NDA possible, so you can be killed or put in a camp when this happens again. And 9/11 number 2 is already planned. And World War I, it gave the Hasidic rabbis Palestine. That's a fact. I'm not making it up. Look in history books. World War II gave the Hasidic rabbis Israel. So, yeah, I mean, this is still crystal clear, but the white race consists mainly of nerds. They want to go into detail. It's very nice if you want to build a car or a computer, but it doesn't help you understand the world. You have to think big, and that's very difficult for the white race men in general. And the Hasidic rabbis give you also a small chance. They control us, and they do all these horrible things, but they also explain it secretly, sneaky, a little bit hidden. Why do they do that? To unburden their karma, because they work with the Kabbalah. And it says if you share your evil plans with others, even when they don't understand it, your karma is lifted. So they put things in the media to unburden their karma. And they do it in a difficult way, because that's allowed by the Kabbalah. Even when they don't understand all these messages, this information in the media, still your karma is lifted. And that's why, for example, David Bowie and Queen sang Under Pressure about 9/11. And they had this image of a building being blown up, just like the Twin Towers later. And that's why in The Simpsons before 9/11 was 9/11, the Twin Towers. And he was holding this dollar in front of this magazine, because it's also in the dollar. Yeah, look it up, it's true. Yeah, it seems crazy, but it's the truth. And in The Simpsons they also show us that the Hoover Dam will be destroyed. They have shown us this in advance. They did. It's here. right in front of your face. You know 9/11 happened. You know it, of course, everybody does. But this image was made before 9/11 to give you a chance, very small chance. And doesn't that imply that now they are giving us a very small chance to find out that Hoover Dam will burst in a second fake terrorist attack? Yeah, it does, of course. Leonard Cohen also sang about 9/11. First we take Manhattan, then we take Berlin. Well, what do you think it means? And he even admitted it in an interview. He said, it's a terrorist song, it's a geopolitical plan. Yeah, the plan for the New World Order. Look it up. He's dead now, but when he was alive, he was honest. Yeah, Ebola also announced in The Simpsons already. And when they make Ebola big, that still has to come, it will not be very good for us. Sorry, I didn't make all this stuff up. I'm only explaining it to you. So things are hidden in The Simpsons. That's 100% fact. Also with Spider-Man. But it's not always warning about future things that are coming. It's also teaching us what is a good man, mostly. What do you have to do as a man? You have to be compassionate and you have to be strong. And you have to fight back. Of course. And the white race, I don't know what's wrong with you. But white race, men, I mean, there are no men. That's why they also call us the bad man, the female man in Hebrew. It's horrible. They explain you all these things. And they also put, of course, their satanic hallmarks everywhere. Do that too. But they also explain how you can survive. Like, for example, Agents of Smash. This is really an incredible series because it has one big message. Take action. That's what this series teaches you. Be on the side of good and take action. And the Agents of Smash, it's of course a word game. It's S-M-A-S-H, but you say Agents of Smash. And they put it also in the Illuminati card game with Alex Jones and Ron Paul. S-M-O-F. Secretly mocking our friends. That's what it means. And the Illuminati card game is full of all this information about the real world. I mean, Alex Jones is a real person. Ron Paul is a real person. But they are freemasons. And here you are taught, if you want to listen, that they are fooling you. That's why they have these hats on. And they are smiling. And that's why Smurf is there, secretly mocking our friends. The truth is in places that are hard to find, but very hard to accept. Because all these rational white race men, they think like, if it's not on the news or in the newspapers, then I don't believe it. Wow. So that's handy for the Hasidic rabbis and Zionist Jews. If they put things in the newspapers and on TV, then everybody believes it. And if they put the truth in all these obscure places, then the white race man will not believe it. That's convenient. If you want to take over the world and kill all the white race men, very convenient. Do you understand a little bit how this works? And Gravity Falls, it's full of wisdom, advice, and all these things. Like selling your soul to the devil, what all the Freemasons are doing, and all the famous movie stars and music stars. This is the devil, this is Satan, symbolic, of course, yes. And he shakes hands, he makes a deal with the devil. And then he finds out when he did it, there's a catch. Whoa, there was a catch. So, Robin Williams, Prince, all these other famous people, Marilyn Monroe, Grace Kelly, even then, yes. All these famous people, they made a deal with the devil and it did not end well. And for the Freemasons in general, it will not end well. That's one of the things that is in Gravity Falls. It's chock full of all these explanations. And in the dollar is this scary eye, the all-seeing eye, and the pyramid, and Sirius, the star in the back. And this is also in Gravity Falls. Believe it or not, it is true. And it's important to realize. And this is the producer, Alex Hirsch, and another of these Zionist Jews' names. Bill Cipher is this little triangle thing, and he comes from the dollar. They explain it here. He explains it. Look, there's the dollar in Gravity Falls, and they took this little image from there because he represents Satan, especially with the eye. Satan is not real, that is true, but the aliens that this whole video is about are probably true, real. So you have the Hasidic rabbis, and they put things in Gravity Falls, and they put things in the dollar. And how is it possible? Because I showed you, because of Zionist producers, like Jewish Zionist producer Alex Hirsch. He can put in this show whatever he wants, and he takes their orders. Jewish Zionist fat boss Yellen, she can put in the dollar anything she wants, and all the others, Greenspan, Volker Bernanke, also Zionist Jews. So in the dollar is a lot hidden. That's why the eye is there, and that's why the same symbolism is in Gravity Falls. It's crystal clear. And Harvey Beeks is full of wisdom also. So you have seen now that there are things hidden in The Simpsons. You get advice to the Spider-Man and to Gravity Falls. So it's logical to assume there are also things hidden in, for example, The Wizard of Oz. And in The Wizard of Oz is a lot hidden. And mainly it explains about control. There's a man behind the curtain, and there's a song about puppet master. So basically it's about control. And we are symbolized, the white race, by a young female. Of course, because everybody is acting like a young female. How are you? How are you today? Smiling, smiling. If women act like that, yeah, okay. But men, I mean, that's really, cannot survive like that. Cannot live like that. And they explain, like, the Emerald City, it's only green because people are fooled by wearing green glasses. And it's symbolism for the dollar, the greenback, of course. And they go there over a yellow brick road that Elton John sang about later. Because then the dollar was still backed by gold. So this is all symbolism that's not very hard to understand. And there's an explanation about the puppet masters. I've got the world on a string is a line in Wizard of Oz. And the Hasidic rabbis, they like to call themselves the puppet masters. Because they control us. Through the media, presidents, freemasons, made up things like AIDS. I mean, it doesn't exist. Or hunger in Africa. I've been to Africa, there's no hunger. It's all lies. But you are manipulated. Hunger in Africa, and you feel sorry, you want to give money. And it goes straight to the Hasidic rabbis. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And this comes back in the Illuminati card game. Of course, it all comes from the same source. Like, they are the puppet masters. And here's the symbol that's also in the dollar, remember? The eye from the dollar. And it's in Gravity Falls, because they control the world. They can do whatever they want. And they put it in the Illuminati card game to give us a chance. It's all there. This is more important than the Bible, almost, or just as important as the Bible. Because it explains everything. 9/11, Obama, Bush, it's all in there. The New World Order. And in The Wizard of Oz, also a monkey, we'll get there, he explains, like, we were free monkeys that just lived a little bit like we wanted to, we were free, and then Oz came out of the clouds to rule over us. But this book was written in the beginning of 1906 or so, and they did not have airplanes, did not exist, or helicopters. So what can they mean in The Wizard of Oz when the King of the Monkeys said Oz came out of the clouds to rule over us? It can only mean an alien, of course. But it doesn't mean, like, there is a line with some monkey and he says that aliens are real. Of course not. But why did they put it there? This whole thing is about control and aliens and illusions, this whole Wizard of Oz. But that's still no proof. I understand that. We'll get there. And there's an interpretation that the man behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz, God, is just a man that thought the whole religion system out to control people. Christians even tried to get the book banned for this reason. So The Wizard of Oz they want to ban because it explained that religions are false. And of course they are false. Because in Egyptian religion you had the Satan figure, Ra, that is closely related to Jesus, of course, also. And in the Bible you have Satan, and in Hinduism you have Krishna, and with the Muslims you have Allah, and this is the all-seeing eye in Mecca, seen from very high. Yeah, sorry for the Muslims, but this is all true also. It's not that, yeah, Christianity, yeah, that's wrong, that's evil. But Muslims, no, that's okay. No, they're all made up. Yeah. And even already with the Vikings, you had Thor, and with the Mayans, Quetzalcoatl, and in Greek religion, with all the gods, you had Prometheus. And you know this name maybe from the movie they made a few years ago, Prometheus. So there is a satanic figure in all these religions, and they're all made to control you. And all these religions also have references to aliens, the Kabbalah, or both. That's in many of these religions are about very small piece of information about aliens. And this is a band, Rings of Saturn, that explains everything. They have this song, for example, Rings of Saturn, A Senseless Massacre. What do you hope to prove other than the fact that your species deserves a permanent fucking extinction? Unlike other life forms, humans are worthless. Why does a band make songs like this? Can you explain that to me? No, you cannot. Nobody can. They also have this line, mindless psyche controlled and channeled through a series of religious tactics. So they explain that the religions are made up. They have another song, they have many songs, a lot is explained. Seized and devoured. We are not of this world. Abandoned our home, now we've come to take yours. Take the form of a god, the mindless follow me. Again, religions are made up. That's what they explain. Now it becomes more substantial. Like we have the Wizard of Oz, and it explains that religions are made up. They wanted to ban the Wizard of Oz for that it gave this knowledge. And now we have 100 years later, we have this Rings of Saturn, and they also explain, hey, there are aliens, and religions are made up. So it becomes more substantial. And the Wizard of Oz is even the Wizard of Zion, aka Satan. And I will prove that. Oz is Satan. So the Wizard of Oz in reality is about Satan. And there's confirmation in the movie they made later, Oz the Great and Powerful. And it's almost the same as the Wizard of Oz, the original, but it's a little bit different. Where does this name Oz come from? Well, it all comes back from Egyptian time. All these things, like many people understand now, come back from Egyptian time. There was one pharaoh who stood out among many pharaohs in Egypt, of course, and he holds the key to what Zion really means. His name was Ramesses II, or Ramses II, and this is one of his immense statues. Like here is a person, and this is this incredibly big statue of Ramesses II. He reigned from 1279 BC to 1213 BC, was highly regarded. That's probably why this Greek philosopher named Diodorus Siculus paid attention to Ramesses, and he wrote about him. And Ramesses has of course the name Ra in his name, and translators say it means Ramesses means Ra created him. And that makes sense because this whole Egyptian religion was mostly Ra worshipping. So if we have the name Ramesses and Ra created him, well, that makes sense. Well, and this Diodorus Siculus, he translated his name from Ramesses to Greek. And what did he come up with? Ozymandias. So Ra created him. In Greek is Ozymandias. Os created him. This proves what I already thought. Satan is Ra in Egyptian and Os in Greek. Os is one of the many names for Satan, like Ra, Krishna, Kali, Lucifer, Prometheus. There are many, many names, but these are a few of the names. So that's why the Wizard of Oz is not just a fairy tale. It explains how Satan controls us, especially through money, mainly gold at the time. So this Satan is not real, but the alienism behind Satan, that is real. This comes from Egyptian time, and this is the symbol for Ra, or Satan. And what do we have at the beginning of The Wizard of Oz? Oz the Great and Powerful, this movie. The all-seeing eye. So it all fits. It makes sense. That all this is all connected, and it comes back in the dollar bill, because they control the movie industry. They had the Wizard of Oz made. They control the dollar, and it's in the Illuminati card game. The all-seeing eye is Satan. It's a symbol for Satan. Satan is made up by the aliens. And they have this symbol of Oz, Satan, looking at us, seeing the world that we live in. This is at the beginning. There's a crystal ball, and these are the hands of Satan. And this also comes back in I, Petco 2. This little video they made, it's on YouTube. And they explain what they're going to do with us. And here is again the puppet master and Satan, the same hands that are at the beginning of Oz the Great and Powerful. So all these things are connected. It is every time it's the same thing. In Egypt, now in our time, in movies, in the dollar and in the Illuminati card game. It's about the all-seeing eye. This is a video camera, this, in the Illuminati card game. They symbolize the all-seeing eye, that they are watching us, the aliens, not Satan. Satan is not real. But the aliens who thought out this whole religious system, they are real. They are everywhere. And already these are 4 places where they show the all-seeing eye. And now you know them too. But in general, people don't take a second glance at all these symbols. Everybody has dollars in their pocket, but you never really look at them. But when you do, and you connect it to other symbolism that is exactly the same, it becomes more clearer what's going on in the world, that we are really controlled everywhere. And here is the writer, this Baum of The Wizard of Oz. And this is 1906, around that time that this picture was made, and he's in Egypt. People that go to Egypt today, it doesn't mean that much, but at that time, of course, it was very special to go to Egypt. So, it all fits. Frank Baum. It all makes sense. These Hasidic rabbis, they controlled Egypt, and they controlled somebody like Frank Baum. They said, we're going to give you money, $100,000, so you have to write a book, this, and this has to be in it. Yeah, okay. And then the Wizard of Oz today, with Oz the Great and Powerful, they have Jewish Zionist producers, and they made this movie, and they say to them, you have to put this and this and this in it. Yeah, okay, well. And the Fed, yeah, you have to raise interest rates, you have to lower interest rates, you have to create more money, less money. Yeah, she will do it. Our world is controlled. You live in the matrix. Do you get any feel for this? And here are the rings of Saturn, this band again. And they also explain all these things. And they also say you're corrupt. It's true, of course. You're filth, you're simple-minded. So it's not only like very simple things like we will destroy all humans or so. No, they also explain that we are corrupt, for example. That's not what you would expect from such guys. I mean, whatever they are, I mean, that they talk about corruption in their songs. Would you expect that? No, but they do. And the Wizard of Oz is closely related to Pink Floyd. And Pink Floyd immediately, the all-seeing eye again. And the triangle, just like in the dollar. Because, yeah, here the triangle and the all-seeing eye together. Because they are all controlled. I mean, you got these baby boomers, like 60 or 70. Yeah, Pink Floyd. Yeah, that was real music. What, really? Really? Yeah, today with all these bands, this was music. But it was not about the music. This is about the protocols of Zion. That you have to be distracted. And they put all their symbolism in it. And they made this album, Pigs, Dogs, Pigs, Sheep, Pigs. Animals is this album called. And it's about us. It's very disturbing. Lyrics of animals, well, it's very long, but it's about, they sing, for example, now things are really what they seem. No, this is not a bad dream. With bright knives, he released my soul. He makes me to hang on hooks in high places. He converted me to lamb cutlets. He has great power and great hunger. I mean, is this a song? Down the valley of steel, what a surprise. A look of terminal shock in your eyes. Now things are really what they seem. Wow, and this has no meaning. It's a warning. Of course it's a warning. You can't say they didn't warn you. Because they did. What does this leave to the imagination? Are you really going to go to a concert or listen to the music and you sing with them? Yeah. He making me to hang on hooks in high places. Yeah. He converted me to lamb cutlets. He has great power and great hunger. He released my soul. Wow. I mean, do you have no brain? Album Dark Side of the Moon has this prism, and it's straight from the Kabbalah. In the Kabbalah they say God, Satan is the real God. He made all the colors. So first there was only this color, or nothing white, and then they made all these beautiful colors. And they said, yes, Satan, symbolized by the triangle, he did that. And that's why Dark Side of the Moon, there's something going on with the moon, just like in the Wizard of Oz. It's only a paper moon. And now Pink Floyd, also totally controlled, is saying Dark Side of the Moon. Because Wizard of Oz and Pink Floyd are connected, of course, and people noticed that. Wizard of Oz with Pink Floyd, they made some posters, like they're connected. Animals, the album, and Yellow Brick Road, they made all these movie things, and they are right. These are all the similarities between Wizard of Oz and Pink Floyd. They made them exactly the same. Here's the old cigar of Pink Floyd. But why did they make them the same? Because the Hasidic rabbis thought, yeah, it's about time. Yeah, we made the Wizard of Oz, and we made it, I don't know, 1940 or so, or 50 when they made the Wizard of Oz, or 1920, the musical. And then now we do something new with Pink Floyd, because it's so much later. Yeah, that's it. And Alan Parsons, he did the production for Pink Floyd. And he made sure that the Wizard of Oz and Pink Floyd, that things happened on the same time in the musical and at the album of Pink Floyd. And he made himself a song, Eye in the Sky. And it's of course the Eye of Satan. The third eye from the meditating. Sirius, Eye in the Sky, Sirius from the Freemasons, they use it a lot, and it's also in the dollar. And he made other songs. Alan Parsons Project, Pyramid, for example. And I, Robot, he already did that we are robots to be controlled. Lucifer, another name for Satan, of course. And Sirius again. And on one of the albums he had the All-Seeing Eye from Egypt. It is Eye in the Sky. I mean, that it explains it all. So all these things are connected and it all fits. It's not far-fetched or so. And Pink Floyd made a 40-year anniversary song and a video, and it's about, first about the triangle with the light, like Dark Side of the Moon. But then it's about 9/11, with one male and one female building. And they explain that the army is coming to unburden their karma. They explained it again. What's going to happen? And they also explain, if you want to survive, you have to stick together. So they told us what's going to happen and how we can survive. Textbook Kabbalah, of course. Share your plans for others even when they don't understand it. Your karma is lifted. So the Hasidic rabbis, they controlled this Frank Baum from the Wizard of Oz, and later the musical and the movie, what's going to be in there. And they controlled Pink Floyd. And they told these people, like, you put in this and this and this, and Pink Floyd, you put in that and that and that. And that's how it works. Is that difficult? No, it's not difficult. Now we get to the biggest secret of the Wizard of Oz. And this is pretty amazing. And now it really becomes alien. Well, he's the Oz, and here's the Emerald City again. But what it's all about is this. He gets into this typhoon or tornado, and then this happens. Gravity is gone. This is not from the wind, that everything is flying around. No, gravity is gone. Remember that. What's the essence here? That he goes from Earth, he's first on Earth, United States, he goes to another world. That's the essence. How does he do that? He goes through a wormhole. That's why they put this small scene in where gravity disappears. Because they also explained somewhere else that a wormhole is some sort of tunnel in the fourth dimension. Maybe we should imagine it as a back door to the third dimension. You know the third dimension, you're in it, we're all in it, of course. And imagine space-time, we live in space-time, okay, let's accept that. They can make this fold. And apparently we live in space-time, and this time is also a force. So sometimes they symbolize going through a wormhole with gravity changing from the third dimension. You go into the fourth dimension and it disappears, but also time changes. Both these things can change. And then the wormhole goes from one folded location to another. You have this space-time as like flat, and then they fold it, and you can travel big distances. You don't have to travel all the way from here to there, but they fold space-time, and you get two places that are very connected, very close to each other this way, and then they have to travel just a very small distance through the wormhole. That's what all this wormhole traveling supposedly is about. And then we get to Alice in Wonderland. Well, she eats something in Alice in Wonderland, and many people say that this is about drugs, but it's not about drugs. It's about symbolism, the same symbolism as in the Bible, where they eat from the apple and they gain all this wisdom. That is meant here. The drugs are too small, too insignificant for something so big, because Alice in Wonderland is really one of the biggest stories ever. And that's why it's still so famous, because they keep pushing it. And they did not put something in like drugs or so. It's not important. They put things in it from the Bible. That's important. And already in the matrix, here's the symbol, the triangle. You know, from the dollar, for example, with the triangle, the pyramid. You also have the upside down pyramid. It symbolizes the evil from space, the aliens from space. That's why Israel, Israel, this also goes back to Egyptian time, of course. They have two pyramids, the regular pyramid that is in the dollar, and the upside down pyramid. And the upside down pyramid symbolizes the aliens from space, from above us, of course. And they're connected with the pyramid on earth. That's why Israel is so special. Don't you understand that Israel is not like any other country? You probably acknowledge that. And why is it not like any other country? Because it's alien. That's why. Yeah. And because they control the movie industry, and they also control politicians, you can see these people making the same hidden symbol. The triangle upside down. They are controlled. The Hasidic rabbis, they control the movie industry, and they control these politicians. These worthless people. Holy shit. The boss of France, this beautiful country, and the boss of Germany. I mean, how the hell is that possible? That people like that get to the top. Unbelievable. The Matrix, the Matrix is the most important movie ever, almost. We live in the Matrix. They live is a little bit more important because it explains everything more clear even. This movie from 1988, I think, They Live. And 9/11 was explained a little bit in the Matrix, or they made a reference to 9/11 with his ID. It said 11 September 2001, before 9/11 already. Yeah. And this Anderson, he was with the Freemasons. There was an Anderson who wrote like the final book on Freemasonry. And after that, they all used that book, all the Freemasons, the book from Anderson. That's why they named Neo Anderson. Yeah. And this whole 9/11 was artificial. This Danish professor said, we found nanothermite in the rubble. This is a Danish television. It's an explosive, and molten metal pours out of the South Tower before the collapse. Quantities, 2 planes, 3 skyscrapers collapsed. With how much unreacted nanothermite we have found. That is the loaded gun. They found tons of it. And in this movie, The Matrix, at the beginning, Neo falls asleep behind his computer, and then it wakes him up, the computer, and it starts talking, or it tells him, wake up, Neo, the Matrix has you, follow the white rabbit. And that's why I show you this. And then some people come to his door, and this girl, she has a tattoo of a white rabbit. And the white rabbit also was at the beginning of Alice in Wonderland. Alice follow the white rabbit into the rabbit hole, and she does. So this stuff, maybe this convinces you that it's not just a children's cartoon or so, or something from the past, or this is something timeless for us. Because it's an explanation about the control. And she goes into this rabbit hole and she falls. And that's the key. You cannot fall into a rabbit hole, of course. And she falls for a very long time. Maybe now some of you will go like, hey, of course. She goes into this rabbit hole, she falls. It's again a metaphor for traveling through a wormhole. She is in our world, the world we all know. She falls into a rabbit hole. It's impossible, of course, because it's a story, it could be possible, but no, it's not about that. It's a metaphor for moving through a wormhole. Then she arrives at a very different world. She doesn't understand, and that's why it's called Alice in Wonderland. She's wondering about everything. Wonder doesn't mean wonders, it means wondering. And that's the same thing as explained in The Wizard of Oz, of course. You have Earth, you have the wormhole, you have another world. It's both exactly the same. It's unbelievable. And the whole story of Alice in Wonderland, it's nothing, it's shit. But this through the wormhole, yeah, that's what it's all about. And this through the wormhole, of course, it came back in this Illuminati, we can use this word, or Hasidic rabbi series, Through the Wormhole with Morgan Freeman.
Space, time, life itself. The secrets of the cosmos lie through the wormhole.
There he is. He's not a white race traitor, because he's not white. But it will not end well for the black people too. You could call him a black race traitor, because he works for the aliens. If they are real, but I think they are, probably. What's going on here? It starts with space, and then through the wormhole, it wiggles. These words through the wormhole, they wiggle. You can see it yourself. And this is the same wiggling that was in Jupiter Ascending. And why is it there? Because when a wormhole, this wormhole was also explained in Jupiter Ascending, when you are at the beginning of the wormhole or the end, space-time is bended. It wiggles because it's not flat, straight. They manipulate it, and it bends out of shape. And that is what is symbolized here in Through the Wormhole and in Jupiter Ascending. In both, this wormhole traveling is explained. Then the wormhole goes around and you go into the wormhole. So we start in space, we go through the wormhole, and then we're in it, and apparently it looks something like this, and then there's the eye again. And why? Because it symbolizes the aliens move through the wormhole. This is not Alice in Wonderland. What this is about, this show of Morgan Freeman through the wormhole. The aliens move from space through the wormhole. And the eye, it's an eye. It's a symbol for the aliens. And then we have time. And it symbolizes that in the wormhole, time-space is different. And that's also in Alice in Wonderland. Do you think that, by coincidence, they made this clock in Alice in Wonderland, when she falls and falls and falls through the rabbit hole? Of course, it's a wormhole. It's a metaphor. And also realize that she's floating. You can say, no, she's falling. No, but all these other things are floating around her too. And that was also in Oz the Great and Powerful, because in a wormhole, gravity and time are not the same as in our third dimension where we live. So it's a hint to show you, like, hey, she is in a wormhole and he is in a wormhole. And he looks like, because, of course, it's all different. And then this Morgan Freeman show Through the Wormhole continues with the time. And that's a wormhole. And then they see space, Earth. And then they arrive at Earth. So basically, at the beginning of Through the Wormhole, they show you that aliens moved from space somewhere through the wormhole to Earth. And you can still say, like, aliens don't exist, and but why is it all in there then? Yeah, this Alice in Wonderland, if you really read it, it's a shit story. And that's the same with 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's also a shit story, but it's full of symbolism. Like this monolith in the movie symbolizes the aliens, the power of the aliens. And remember, Wizard of Oz, they first talked about monkeys. And in 2001: Space Odyssey, we also have like this alien thing, and the monkeys touch it, and we become humans, and then it all ends. Alice in Wonderland, it says there are different worlds, and you get there through a wormhole. Satan is in control. That's basically what Alice in Wonderland is about. And this Satan is a Cheshire cat. 2001: Space Odyssey. Aliens live on Earth, they're taking over, and the time of the white race is up. Aliens conquer our universe, one of the many. An important event in this conquest is 9/11, and that's why it's called 2001: A Space Odyssey, because it's a big travel through space, and the year 2001, that when 9/11 happened, is an important event in this Space Odyssey, in conquering space. So these two stories are very much the same, because it's all about symbolism and about the big picture, about the essence. In Event Horizon, they also explain traveling through a wormhole, and this is space-time, and they say you can bend it. So instead of like, this is like maybe 1 billion miles from here to here in space. They say with a wormhole you can bend space-time, and these 2 points that the first 1 billion miles apart are now together, and you just hop over through the wormhole. That's what explained there. In Jupiter Ascending, they also explain, like, there's fire in the sky, and then space wobbles, it's manipulated, so it wobbles, and they enter again, at a certain point. And this spaceship, when you see the movie, you think like, and you don't look very closely, you think like, oh, these are the thrusters, and yeah, it's a regular spaceship. But it's not true. It moves exactly the opposite way. So here again, this is typical. They give you information, but you have to look very carefully and really think about what's going on, and then you can get to the truth. Because this thing moves exactly the opposite way. It moves like this, and it comes out of the fourth dimension. Yeah, it's incredible, but just look up this movie. I mean, it's true. I'm not making this up or so. Why are they doing all these things? And why do they put in the movie poster this wobbling of space-time? Like when you enter a wormhole or when you exit it. Like they put it here on purpose. Yeah. And the rings of Saturn, yeah, I said everything is there. And they also say, harness the elementary particles. The power of a black hole is at our disposal. And this is the power of a black hole is used to create these wormholes. We are not of this world, abandon the home, now we've come to take yours. Unleash this wrath on you pitiful people. I mean, what does this leave to the imagination? Nothing. And in Doctor Strange, it's very interesting, he also shows there are many different worlds. And Alice in Wonderland there were written 2 books, and one was called Through the Looking Glass. And the looking glass is a mirror. She goes through the mirror to another world. And what is in Doctor Strange is also the same symbolism, because it's a metaphor. I mean, you cannot really go to a mirror and go to another world, of course not. But it's a metaphor that there are more worlds. And this is also explained in Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, you think you know how the world works? What if I told you the reality you know is one of many?
The reality you know is one of many, that we live in a multiverse. There is not one universe, there are multiple universes.
This doesn't make any sense.
Not everything does. Not everything has to.
Marvel Studios. Well, this Marvel is in the Wizard of Oz.
Through the mystic arts, we harness energy and shape reality. We travel great distances.
And here's again this ring of fire, where you enter a wormhole.
In an instant.
And then they exit it at another place far away. I mean, it's not exactly the same image as in Jupiter Ascending, but it's the same metaphor.
How do I get from here to there?
How did you become a doctor?
Study and practice. Years later. There's a strength to him. But is he ready? Be careful which path you travel down, Strange. Stronger men than you have lost their way. I am dead. In pain. You die protecting this world. I can't give in. There is no other way.
I spent so many years here through time, looking for you.
Well, okay. Apparently it's a very good movie, but that's not the point. They say question reality. and then change your destiny. Because our destiny, what they have planned for us, is total destruction. That's a fact. They say it many, many, many times, already starting in the Bible, that they also wrote. The end time. End time is written in the alien Bible. They are going to kill us all. And there's not one man. It's always, they give you the truth, but they also at the same time mislead you a little bit. There will not be one man that can save mankind. That's impossible. Forget about that. And this multiverse and aliens, you go like, still there is no real proof of aliens. But why did they have this Big Bang Theory? The Big Bang Theory implies that there is a universe, only one universe. Why did they do that? And who came up with the Big Bang Theory? It was a Belgian priest. I mean, everybody thinks like Einstein or Stephen Hawking or some genius you don't know, but it was just a Belgian priest. And he was a member of the satanic Jesuit order, the Zionist Jews. Again, it all comes back to the Hasidic rabbis, the Satanists, the Zionist Jews. And Einstein said that the Jesuit order is also part of the Vatican, and the Vatican is satanic, of course. They manipulate us through religion. And the satanic sign, Satan is undercover on earth because he wears a mask symbolically, and we cannot recognize him. The upside down cross from Egypt at the square in front of the Vatican is this obelisk from Egypt. I mean, it's all connected, it's all satanic. But Einstein said about his theory that his physics are a mess. It doesn't make sense, this theory. And he said, like, yeah, okay, you have these nice calculations and they're a little bit impressive, but it doesn't make any sense at the end. It's not right. And if this guy came up with a Big Bang Theory that was correct, of course, all scientists, including Einstein, would say, wow, that's incredible what you came up with. And there would be no mistakes in it, of course. But there are. And it's not correct. So that proves that they have a motive to give us the idea that there's only one universe. And their motive is to hide that there are more worlds. And they came to us from another world and they're manipulating us. And that's mainstream media. The mainstream media misleads you. But through Alice in Wonderland and the Wizard of Oz, they give us this minuscule chance to find out the truth. And the truth is highly likely that we live in a multiverse, and they came to us through the wormhole. That's highly likely to be the truth. And Alice in Wonderland is called Alice in Wonderland because she's wandering in this other world, of course. She goes from Earth through the wormhole to another world that is not like our world. And she wonders, what the hell is going on here? Yeah, of course. And in Anne Clark we find another Zionist messenger, a messenger from the aliens, we can say now. And she's closely related to this Alice in Wonderland story. She made this album, and it has numbers on it like The Power Game, The Key, Elegy for Last Summer, the 606 mix. In the Bible it says 6_6. World Without Warning. I mean, there are horrible things going on and we are not warned. Or we don't understand the warnings. The last emotion before we all disappear. Our darkness, what's coming. Pandora's box, a reference to the Greek religion they also made up. poem for a nuclear romance. World War III, nuclear is planned. Self-destruct, we're doing it to ourselves. White silence, how about that? The white race man. What a piece of shit. It's all there. Mass immigration. Nothing wrong with all these immigrants. They also have no idea. But of course we should stand up to it. Of course. And all these Zionist Jews everywhere. But they go, scared. No, don't say anything. Weltschmerz. It's German. It means the hurt of the world. Off grid. Because our whole society is going to fall apart. They already planned it. Lost to the world. All the good advice. Full moon. Because there's something wrong with the moon. Heaven. It's not real, but we could realize it on earth. Hope Road. Almost no hope left, but okay. Eye of the storm. Where we are now, probably. Killing time. Probably has something to do with space-time and no alarm call. All we have to be thankful for. So, she also tells us a lot, like many artists tell us a lot. And she has the song Full Moon. Nothing here is ever what it seems. But that's true. In the land of haven't got a clue. And that's us. Like we are Alice in Wonderland in our own world. We don't understand what's going on with the United Nations and all the politicians are freemasons and controlled. I'm not to blame for anything I do in the land of couldn't give a fuck. You pay your money and leave the rest to luck. Like we are not thinking about the world we live in. Most people are not. And then you're gonna get killed, of course. What do you think? And she has this imagery of London destroyed, New York destroyed, probably by a meteorite shower. And somebody's crying for the people on earth. And a song about the moon. The man in the moon is watching us, she sings. And in Alice in Wonderland, well, we'll get there. But she had this tour, she called it Wasted Wonderland. And here's the Freemason symbolism with the black and the white. And she did a tour with some guy, and he was called Herr Six. It means Seer Six, Satan. It's all there, Herr Six, the satanic six, that's putting a lot of hints everywhere. And she tells everything. Nuclear war, white race silence, the men in the moon, well, the aliens in the moon, a destroyed world, we do it to ourselves, the reference to Alice in Wonderland, a wasted Wonderland. This cannot be a coincidence anymore. And this Alice in Wonderland, probably it means Alice in Wonderland. You think like, well, that's too much. But they also made this album, Clearwater Deathblow, Parasite Cleansing. Well, Alice is a parasite. And this whole album is about a destroyed world, where they get rid of the humans, the parasites. And they have the same songs like this Anne Clark has, Reduced to Juice, The 11th Commandment from 9/11, Brain Cells Ashtray, Sodomized, Long-Term Special Effects. Well, 9/11 was a total special effect. The moon landing, they have holograms of Jesus planned. Initiation to human stupidity, devil behind the wheel, Satan is in control, of course. Political atheist, it's all about power. And the worldwide social lies, racism is a lie, famine in Africa is a lie, feminism is a lie, global warming is a lie, 9/11 is a lie, UN is a lie. It's all a lie. Hypocritical masquerade. They give many of these lies, like cleansing man from earth. I mean, it's too much. And of course, rings of Saturn also, galactic cleansing. I mean, what do you think of all this? I mean, it should make you think. We are controlled in the Matrix, probably by the aliens. And this guy, he wrote Alice in Wonderland. And many people say like, oh, it's about drug use. Oh. But does he look like somebody who will write about drugs? No. Pedophile? Yeah, could be. But not about drugs. And there is nothing about with pedophiles in Alice in Wonderland. But it does make sense that it's about eating something and getting knowledge. That's what it's about. And in Alice in Wonderland we also have the Cheshire cat that is symbolized as a moon. So Satan is in the moon, and Satan is the alien. So in Alice in Wonderland is explained that in the moon are the aliens. All these big things come back. And there is one incredible song from Jefferson Airplane, White Rabbit. And it is, of course, about all this stuff. And they have symbolism like the all-seeing eye. If you make it a little smaller, you clearly see it's an eye. And here, again, the satanic eye. And, of course, the Egyptian symbolism and with the all-seeing eye. Because this Jefferson Airplane, they were really big in all this stuff. The white rabbit, like in Alice in Wonderland, in the Matrix. I mean, it's incredible. This was in a poster from a concert in 1966. Alice in Wonderland, the white rabbit, the Matrix. I mean, this should make you think, like, hey, throughout history, it's always the same things are coming back. That really should make you think, the all-seeing eye. And they made this song. They made one great song. And it's this, of course, Jefferson Airplane, the White Rabbit. I mean, all these talented people, they can all, in general, can do one thing very good. They can make one super song. Like Prince with Purple Rain, for example. He never made anything like that. Or Jefferson Airplane, White Rabbit, Michael Jackson, Thriller. I mean, you have one chance of genius, and that's what you get, and then you get this song, White Rabbit. And many things are explained there, like one pill makes you larger. You get knowledge. One pill makes you small, it keeps you stupid. The ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all, because mothers have no wisdom, and they also don't want to dumb you down, really. So they don't do anything. Go ask Alice when she's 10 feet tall. So when Alice has eaten something that she grows, but she grows literally in Alice in Wonderland, but it's a metaphor for having gained knowledge. So when she has all this knowledge, you have to go ask her. That's what they sing in this song. That's what it's about, the whole song. And they were on television. This is really like the old America. This is how people looked in the 1950s. And then Jefferson Airplane came, and the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, they changed the culture. From serious people that had a serious society, it had to be changed to something that could self-destruct. And that's what happens with the whole 1960s revolution. And they came on television this time for the first time. And they sang this song, but they immediately turned the picture upside down. And I did not do it on a computer or so. This was on television in America. And this upside down, backwards, reversing is symbolic for Satan, of course. So they immediately made a satanic symbolism on American television. It's incredible. And again, turn it upside down. This house in the background, this great big house in the background, they turned it upside down. And here you see two faces, and here is Sirius, the star. Is this symbolic for the aliens? Yeah. Okay, maybe not. Okay, maybe not. I don't know. But maybe it is. But okay. And you have this guy, he was the most important one. and he stuck out his tongue when it was turned upside down, the image. And now I turn it around, here you can see it, and he stuck out his tongue. Now, where do you know this from? Yeah, from Miley Cyrus, of course, but it was also in the Rolling Stones. It's a reference to Kali, the Hindu god. Here you see it better. The Hindu god of murder, 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 murder. I mean, this Hinduism, holy shit, holy shit. You really thought like, oh, if there's one good religion, it's Hinduism. You meditate, you go to the park. No. It's awful. It's about murdering as many people as you can. And here's the all-seeing eye. They put it also in there because everything is connected. And that is what Miley Cyrus is always doing with her tongue. She also makes the one eye, from the dollar, from the aliens. Done on purpose. Of course it has meaning. In the 19th century, there was in India a cult of Kali named the Thuggies. They worshipped Kali. What was their main objective? Don't believe it, look it up. Kill as many people as possible. I mean, that was their goal. They strangled their victims. And they did this an estimated 2 million times, murdering over 2 million people, strangling them to death. I mean, that is religion for you. I mean, do you understand now a little bit why Rings of Saturn says we manipulate you through religions, dumb people? That is real alienism. Aliens is not UFOs coming shooting with lasers. Alienism is about controlling a planet with things like religion and money. That's real factual alienism. That's what it is. Horrible, horrible, horrible. And they give us a chance. And this Jefferson Airplane, they also made the song The Son of Jesus. What you could expect, of course, because they were controlled by the Hasidic rabbis who work for the aliens. We can assume a little bit, yeah, probably. They sing about Egypt and ISIS. Yeah, of course, makes sense. It's all coming back there, yeah. The eye again. When the earth moves again, they may have this song. It means, of course, when it's a time of big change again. World War III, all these things. Egyptian kings, they sing about, and they have this strange line, if you've only lived on earth, you've never seen the sun, or the promise of 1,000 other suns that glow beyond here. I mean, why would a human like you or me who lives on earth would make alliance like that? Moses, Red Sea closes over when you least expect it to. Like bad things will happen when you least expect them to. Solidarity, like you have to stick together. They also did with the Pink Floyd album and Gravity Falls. Like you can only overcome evil and survive when you stick together. All the gang of those who rule us hope our quarrels never stop, helping them to split and fool us, just so they can remain on top. They give you all this information. Look, John Silver. All men are ruled by flag or game. The wheel, the new world order. Is this about? Futures unspoken will keep rolling to one world. We will be one world. We can see one world. Yeah, the new world order is one world. Yeah, and crown of our creation, the atomic bomb. Wow. And they have this very sad song, Planes, about a little boy, a little girl, sitting in school, and they're having this beautiful life, but it will not and well for them. So all these explanations about how we are manipulated, and in the Wizard of Oz, like Oz came out of the clouds, and this was in the beginning of the 1900s. First plane flew in 1903, and this was the plane. I mean, and then in the Wizard of Oz they have this line, Oz came out of the clouds to rule over us. Can you match that line with this image? No, of course not. It has to mean something else. And through the wormhole with Zionist messenger Morgan Freeman, I mean, it's all too much coincidence. They made this show Mad Hatter, and of course it's derived from the Mad Hatter. And what does Mad Hatter do? He fights evil. This is Satan, the aliens, and he tries to take over the multiverse. And he has lizard eyes, a lizard skin, he has a mask, just like Obama on this poster had this mask. And remember Crown of Our Creation from Jefferson Airplane, the nuclear bomb, it's hidden here. So how is this possible? When Trump becomes the new president, I don't know. Maybe Trump will never be the new president. Or maybe Obama will come back after 4 years and finish the job. A nuclear war with Russia. I don't know. But the Hasidic rabbis, they control the producers again of series Mad Hatter with the multiverse explained. And they control Obama, of course. He is a Freemason, Masonic inaugural ball. 44th President of the United States, Barack Obama, a Freemason. Yeah, of course. Of course. You know now that Oz in Greek stood for Satan. That's really something. Ramases, Ra created him. Ozymandias in Greek. So you've learned a lot of things. But in the Bible, it's also about these wormholes. In Ezekiel, and I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and brightness was about it. Well, what was in the Wizard of Oz? A whirlwind. This is the start of how we got into the wormhole. And it's also in the Bible. A fire enfolding itself. What is in Doctor Strange? This fire. When you go into a wormhole, apparently you get a fire. And then in Ezekiel, in the Bible, this is literally from the Bible, also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. They came out of this ring of fire. This was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man. It is from the Bible. And then he talks about a craft. They came in and he said it's a wheel in the middle of a wheel. So you had a craft, you had aliens, they looked like, they had the likeness of a man, but he says it. So he says they were not men, they only looked like men. And you had this whirlwind, a fire, and it all comes back in The Wizard of Oz and in another movie, like also in Jupiter Ascending, but also in this Doctor Strange. And in the movie Knowing, a wheel within a wheel. They had this in this movie Knowing, and they explained all these things. And then they came up with another craft, a wheel within a wheel. And then the aliens came that looked like men. And this is just before Earth is destroyed in the movie Knowing. And this little boy, this little girl, what does she hold in her hands? Well, this is an alien that looks like a man. And the world is destroyed. New York is destroyed so many times. In all these movies and videos, Times Square. They like to show this destroyed Times Square. And destroyed Earth. The world is burning. what does she hold in her hands? The white rabbit. Wow. I mean, it's really wow. I really mean that. Because the same things keep coming back. The big things. Aliens, there are more worlds, religions, things in the Bible come back in The Wizard of Oz. I mean, in this rabbit in the Matrix, in the movie Knowing, in Alice in Wonderland. I don't know what a white rabbit means. Maybe you do. I don't get the symbolism. It has to do with something pure, good of heart or so. I have no idea. And they start again, Adam and Eve in a new world, and they release these little white rabbits. Well, yeah, the Hasidic rabbis, they had this movie made, of course. They had the Bible written, or they wrote the Bible, and they had this movie Knowing made, with the same things coming back as in the Bible. Or should it be like this? The aliens had the Bible written, and then this movie made. Well, I think it's the aliens, and then the Hasidic rabbis are here in between. Could this be true, moving through a wormhole? So, probably yes. We have all this big media information, that's all a lie. AIDS, Ebola, Holocaust. My grandfather is Jewish. I would, if it was real, of course I would be the first one to say, yeah, it's real, but it's not real, it's a fact. I studied it. Titanic was a terrorist attack, again, a false terrorist attack, like 9/11 from Zionist Jews. Yeah, it's the truth. World War I, World War II, the Bible, Jesus, 9/11, it's all a lie. It's all different from what you thought. And then there's small hidden information, and you can find out the truth. Truth's out there. That's what they mean. If you look for the truth, you will find it, but it's difficult. AIDS is fake. You can find proof for that. Ebola fake. Holocaust fake. If you study it. Titanic sunk with bombs. World War I set up to get Palestine, etc., etc. Like this guy, this from the Jesuit order, who came up with the Big Bang Theory. I mean, more and more scientists are saying, now it cannot be real. It's not true, it's false. And already Einstein said, it's a lousy theory, it cannot be true. It's 100% certain the Big Bang Theory is fraudulent, made up. There's no ifs, buts, maybes, 100% certain. So what does that mean? It means we can still live in a universe, could be true, but we could also live in a multiverse. It could also be true. And when you didn't know about Einstein criticizing this Big Bang Theory, you would think like, oh, the Big Bang Theory, everybody accepts it. We came from this minuscule point, and then the universe, and that's it. But now you know that Einstein said it's false. And now many scientists say it's false. So the multiverse can be a reality. I think it's a reality. It makes sense. And they explained it in this cartoon Family Guy. They very quickly say something about, what's going on? I don't understand, says the dog. And then this little genius, he says, well, we're talking now about the multiverse. There are more universes that coexist with each other. And he explains it to the dog. I mean, you watch the Family Guy, and it's all jokes, pats. And then all of a sudden, it's for a few seconds, they give something like this. Or like Katrina with Hurricane Katrina, that the army pierced the dikes. Things like this are told in Family Guy, really. Yeah. So we have this mainstream idea at one point, and then boom, and everything became a universe. But we have hidden information that says, no, there are all these universes, and they are connected, or sometimes you have to artificially connect them. It's also what they explain. And 9/11 there were 3 Israelis arrested, and they said on Israeli television that they started filming 9/11 before anything happened, so they knew what was going to happen. They said, we were only there to film the event. They said on Israeli television, and the mainstream media keeps on giving you the lie of bin Laden. So the working principle of mainstream media telling you lies and small hidden information with the truth is also out there. This working principle is proven with 9/11. So it can also apply to other things, of course. And it does. But you have officialdom lying to you about everything. CNN, the Zionist news network, and the government, the newspapers, universities, it's all officialdom, of course. And they all stick together. And they explained, like, we have Ebola now in Africa. Like, really? No, of course not. It's all made up. And somebody found out that CNN made a mistake.
What's he doing? Oh, he's just so sick. Oh, the poor guy. Right? Poor guy. This is the kicker. This cinches it 100%. There you go, the naked boy. The naked boy.
It's all fake. 9/11, fake. Katrina, fake. World War I was set up. World War II set up. 9/11, fake. AIDS, fake. Ebola, fake. It's all fake. And they give you the truth in hard to find places like in The Simpsons, 9/11 for example. But hard to find is not the problem. Accepting that it's all fake, that is the problem. The white race man has a problem with accepting the truth. You cannot handle the truth. Because the truth doesn't fit your arrogant frame of mind where you are God in a white race world and you are in control. No, you are fooled all the time. You cannot accept it with your arrogance. That's the whole problem. It's not finding the truth. It's accepting the truth because you think you are so good. Well, in reality, you are dumb as shit. That's the problem. Accepting that it's all not as you thought. That's the problem. You are, I am, we are Pac-Man. Because Pac-Man is in a matrix. And this is one of the first computer games. And it's no coincidence. It symbolizes man in the matrix. And with the series they made later after this game, it's clearer. You have this Pac-Man and he has to save his Pac-Man world every time. And you have evil, good and evil, just like the Bible. And they made an episode, The Wizard of Oz. And what do they explain? Traveling through the wormhole to another world. Exactly what I said The Wizard of Oz is about. And it comes back.
Behold the space worm, one of the most powerful forces in the entire universe. Part worm, part black hole. Big deal, a big worm. Not just big and long, it's interdimensional. Meaning it exists in multiple dimensions. Meaning, while one end of the worm is here, the other end could be anywhere. But anything that goes into the mouth, let's say for example, the white bread. Ooh, finally something interesting. Would come out in another dimension. Or at the bottom of the ocean on a distant planet. Or in the middle of a star where he would be instantly vaporized. That was my favorite.
Yeah, in a nutshell, same as Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland. Go from one dimension, one world to another through the wormhole. And then the wormhole actually arrives at Pac-Man world, and his professor in Pac-Man world, he makes this sign and he talks about the black hole. So this sign that a lot of music artists make, a lot of famous people, symbolizes how the aliens got here. And it's no coincidence that in the Vedas from Hinduism, they use this symbol. Because in the Vedas is also a line, shapeshifters have come to Earth to wreak havoc. So aliens have come. And this is how they came. And they explain it in Pac-Man. And the aliens have given the assignment to the Hasidic rabbis, think out this Hinduism and you use this symbol. And much later in our time, the end time, they explain it through Pac-Man. Because we are in the end time now and everything is explained. Yeah, if you can find it, it's difficult to find. But once, yeah, okay, I found it now. But then accept it. That's even much more difficult, of course.
Where's Fuzzbits? Fuzzbits! On my way, Fuzzbits! Hey,
Okay, they get sucked into the wormhole.
off the thing! Afraid there's no telling who could be so. Gotta power up and get out of here! Oh
They are in another world. Yeah, I mean, it's a children's cartoon, but it's clear, we can understand it. And this world is a mix of Alice in Wonderland and the Wizard of Oz. Tweedledee and Tweedledum, the Cheshire Cat, the Wizard of Oz, and they call him here the Wizard of Oz. So everything I explained to you is clearly true. Clearly 100%. Okay, I cannot say aliens are 100% true, but that Alice in Wonderland and the Wizard of Oz are about traveling through a wormhole to another world is 100% a fact. Otherwise, it cannot all be in this Pac-Man episode that is about traveling through a wormhole. That's impossible. It's a fact. And they show it, of course, a little bit.
That's where the wizard lives, the Maze of Oz.
Hold it! The Cheshire Guards have to announce you.
Well, that's crystal clear. So, yes, I made that step. I found out what the Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland really are about. And now, yeah, it's up to you. Are there really aliens? I think we have to come to the conclusion, yes. Wizard of Oz, through a wormhole, Alice in Wonderland through a wormhole, and the series of Morgan Freeman through the wormhole. Yeah, it's all crystal clear. So the aliens, they controlled everything, like the Bible with the aliens, the Vedas with the aliens from Hinduism, Alice in Wonderland, Pac-Man. It's all controlled. And in mainstream, this is in mainstream, and they give you a very small chance of finding out the truth. Well, this is the truth, people. And the rings of Saturn, this band, they say it all. You should really study them. Humans are filthy or corrupt. We harness the power of a black hole and came from another world. Well, this is exactly what is in Pac-Man. They said the wormhole is part worm, part black hole. We manipulate you with things like religions, then we kill you, the end. This is all in their lyrics. Here's the wormhole again. Here's Saturn, rings of Saturn, and Here they enter the wormhole, and here the aliens come out of the wormhole near Earth. Probably that's what they mean here. I mean, there's so many hints that you have to understand about these wormholes and aliens. So this can only end with, remember what the dormouse said, feed your head. You really should think about all this stuff. Forget career, what a joke, money. I mean, World War III is coming. False Ebola is coming. You're going to get injections with poison. It's all thought out. You really should start understanding all this stuff.